Hello everyone, I'm Ankit Sharma and I welcome you in the third episode of Bharat EV Talks, a podcast series by All India EV. And today with us we have East Pinto represented by Shalu Gupta ji. Hello Shalu ji, कैसे हैं आप?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
So good. Thanks for giving your time to us. And
Pleasure.
uh, you know, without wasting some time, let's get into the conversation. And the very first thing I would like to know from behalf of my audience is the journey of East Pinto. Please, can you take us through the entire journey of East Pinto, the inception, how it got conceptualized, and where you guys have reached today?
Okay. So eSprinto, as many of you would know, we are an electric two-wheeler manufacturing company. We were incepted in 2022, March of 2022. So just to give you a brief, me and my father, so basically my father is running the Hanu Marketing Group. So we are into digital printing and advertising industry for the last 30 years.
Okay.
So definitely not in the automobile industry.
Of course.
But very fortunately, one of dad's friends is Mr. Atul Gupta. He's from the automobile industry for the last 30, 40 years. He's been a seasoned professional in the automobile industry, worked with TVS, worked with Suzuki. And it's actually just a small story of one day all of us sitting together and thinking of what we want to do next. So we came up with this idea where we wanted to, sort of come up with, something in the electric two wheeler space. So that is how eSprinto was incepted. As of now, eSprinto is being run jointly by me and uncle. And my father is there, of course, at the back end to support us. But both of us are co-founders and we are running eSprinto for 2 years. By God's grace, it's been a good journey for us. It has had its ups and downs, but we've learned along the way. And the main idea behind creating a company, because there were already many electric two wheeler OEMs which were present in the industry, but the idea was to get the basics right. The idea was to get and make a company which was surrounded around the ideas of ethics and values, something we can be proud of after a couple of years. And we are just trying to work on our basics. We are just trying to get our basics right and work around the service part of this industry, to understand how service and after sale service, is an important part of the industry we are in, and trying to focus and center our team around it and take it forward from there. So that's how it's been, and we hope that in the coming few years we are able to create something that we are all proud of.
Of course. That's the end goal. That should be the end goal of every EV company in India. And
Definitely.
in the last couple of months, or if you say like last 6 months, if we see the sales trend of electric vehicles, it is rising and it is very promising. It's very good. But I mean, if we remove the top four,
Hmm.
the top four or top five from the list, the big names which we all know. Rest other are more centric towards the logistics and delivery business. Adoption of electric two-wheeler, apart from the top five names, other companies like Eastpinto and others, they are not that much into the personal vehicle ownership, like owning a personalized vehicle ownership.
Yeah.
People are not adopting it in that much. I mean, numbers are great, but the numbers are great in terms of the delivery, in terms of the logistic, which has been the trend. How
Hmm.
do you see this? I mean, when we can see that people have started, people will start adopting electric vehicle for their own personal use. I mean, would love to see those numbers, 50,000, 40,000, whatever the monthly
Yeah.
sales of
Yeah.
a company, but more towards the personal adoption rather than logistics and delivery and e-commerce and quick commerce business.
So, like you rightly pointed out, as of now, EV adoption is little bit centered towards logistics and e-commerce, delivery platforms. But let's just go 5 years back. What would be the percentage of EV adoption for consumers? Not something we would be talking about, right? Not something we would be discussing in this podcast. So I feel that over time it's going to get better. The reason is that, see, understand it from the Indian consumer perspective, right? Once you buy a petrol vehicle, you know that okay, I have a gas station which is a kilometer away from me, right? If I'm stuck, I don't have a problem. If I'm sending my daughter, if I'm sending my wife, if I'm sending my aged father, I will not have a problem because they'll be able to find a petrol station, right? That is the mindset of the Indian consumer, right? When you're actually purchasing a two wheeler for your own consumption. So right now the problem is not really with the electric two wheeler OEMs. The problem is in the customer confidence on the charging infrastructure that is there in the country,
Hmm.
which is why you would have also noticed that a lot of OEMs or even a lot of other companies in general are working towards creating either battery swapping facilities or maybe charging infrastructure. And I would say not even battery swapping, mostly charging infrastructure, because really if you look at the consumer who's purchasing a an electric two wheeler for himself, doesn't
Mhm.
really want to go into the battery swapping thing. He wants a charging infrastructure to be developed. So
Sure.
we are getting there. It's a slow and steady process that everybody needs to work around. We
Hmm.
also need to make our products aligned with the fact that we need to be they need to be able to support the charging infrastructures that are being formed in the country, because only then an ecosystem will be developed,
Of
right?
course.
So the adoption is slow, but I would definitely not negate the consumer market. So even if electric OEMs are a little heavily towards the logistics and delivery thing right now, I'm telling you, in the coming years everybody would want to shift it to the consumer base, because that's where the exact market lies, right? That is the
Yes.
market you want to target. That is
Of course.
you want to reach every household. That is the dream of every OEM working
That's
out
true.
there, right?
Hmm.
So I feel that that is going to happen. It's a slow and steady process, but it will happen. Maybe 5 years, after 5 years, if you and I sit together to have another conversation, maybe we'll have different numbers to talk about.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. So that's how it is, in my
That's
opinion.
yeah. Of course. Delivery is somehow was needed to kickstart this particular ecosystem, and delivery is, from my personal point of view, it's very good because it is available on the road. People are seeing it on daily basis. Like if I'm traveling to Gurgaon, I'll
Correct.
see a lot of electric vehicles for, be it Zomato, be it Swiggy, be it Zepto, whatever, or any kind of a delivery logistic, or be it three-wheeler logistic. I'm seeing electric vehicles on a regular basis, on daily basis, on the road. So
And that
maybe
will that
tomorrow
will
if
increase your confidence, right? Indirectly
of
it will.
course,
And if there is, like, even like for the slightly intelligent people, I would say they would realize the fact that this person is driving an electric two wheeler from morning to evening. This is a part of his job. You only have to do it if you want to go to a tuition, you want to go to the market, you want to go and purchase bread, eggs, whatever. So
hmm,
it's a very limited use for the consumer. So in that case, electric two wheeler is a win-win situation, any which way.
exactly,
So
exactly.
it's just that they'll see and they'll realize is what the thing is.
Of course, and I was reading somewhere about the pollution, about the impact of electric vehicles. I mean, okay, it's a very early stage, but down the line by 2030, we would be able to see the difference in the atmosphere, difference in the temperature, in the pollution level. If
Definitely.
the growth is as per it is predicted, the numbers of electric vehicle, if will grow by 2030, we would be the person talking about, okay, 2020, in 2024 or 2023 we had different climate, different
Correct.
temperature, and the time is different.
Correct, correct, correct. See, every small step counts, right? Every person who's using one electric two wheeler instead of that petrol, it will count. It might look as a very, very small, insignificant contribution, but it is going to count when we sit in 2030 and we have very less resources in our hand, especially for petrol and all. So it's going to impact, and people will understand. People are understanding. There is EV adoption. And I'll tell you, more so in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Lot of tier 2 and tier 3 cities are focused on and understanding that EV saves money, because they understand that how EV saves money for them on a day to day basis, which is a very good understanding to have, because that will become the push factor for you to purchase the EV.
Exactly, exactly.
You get
So
it?
coming to eSprinto, can you tell us what all products you are offering to the market? And of course, we know that eSprinto is also offering the financing solution financing option you guys have for the consumers. So can you take us to that particular thing, like what all product you have and what kind of financing is available for the consumers
Yeah.
or for the dealer distributors?
So at East Printo, our main purpose is to build a portfolio of products that can, range from a customer who's residing in probably a tier three city and not having enough funds to mobilize, going towards, customers who have more funds to mobilize but probably want better range or better mileage depending on what their usage is. So
Mhm.
what we've tried to do is we have five products with us, a combination of both low speed, high speed, although our focus is mainly towards high speed.
Okay.
But the idea is to create that complete portfolio. And in terms of financing options that you're referring to, see, I think every OEM needs to understand the kind of market you are in, right? I am serving the Indian market. I need to be able to give financing options to my customers.
Exactly.
Otherwise, my dealers will suffer, my customers will suffer, right?
Sure.
Because they would not want to, pay upfront for an electric two wheeler. This is the kind of market we are in, and we need to be aware of that. So what
Sure.
we've tried to do is we've tried on our level to tie up with a lot of NBFCs and a lot of banks, you know,
Okay.
to be able to give our customers as many financing options as we can, right?
Mhm.
Of course, it depends a lot on their credit history, etc., etc. But my job here is to give them as many options. So if you go ahead and you want to purchase an eSprinto, at least you shouldn't have the dearth of financing options, is what my point is,
Exactly. That's
right?
good.
So that's something that we work on very rigorously at the corporate level itself,
Mhm.
in terms of the tie-ups we can do, in terms of the schemes we can do. So very recently we did a 5.99% scheme. So things like that which can help the customer, because easy financing is also saving money in one way or the other, right?
Sure.
So at the corporate level itself, we work a lot on that, and hopefully we are able to give our customers what they need.
That's really good. And by financing to the customer, I would like to just confirm it.
Yeah.
Is it to the end customer or dealer distributor or the both?
No, no. So because we follow the dealer distributor model, in automotive, it happens at the dealer point, but then
Okay.
financing happens actually for the retail customer.
Okay.
So, like if you go and you want to purchase an electric two wheeler for yourself. Let's assume the electric two wheeler is priced at say 85,000 or 80,000, whatever,
Mhm.
and you would want to finance a portion of it, right? So, what we'll
Okay.
do is we'll have a tie up with a bank or an NBFC,
Mhm.
and then when you will submit your papers accordingly, your some loan will be sanctioned to you. So you
Mhm.
can actually avail that, pay the rest as down payment, and take your two wheeler. So it happens at the dealer point, but it is for the retail customer.
That's really great. So
Right.
when we talk about electric two wheelers specifically, so either electric two wheeler is a very simple vehicle. It has a motor, it's a battery, it's a
Yeah.
controller, it's a throttle, or it's a very tech heavy platform.
Right.
Like companies are investing their time and energy in developing a tech heavy platform,
Right.
which we see. I mean, once in a while we see on social media, on LinkedIn, of various companies. So I would like to know: is Pinto is working on some sort of a innovation, any new thing which is planning in the pipeline or coming up in the future? We can see on the roads.
No, no, of course we are planning something very innovative. My only problem is I can't share it right now because it is still in the R&D stage
I
for us.
understand.
But of course we are, because I feel personally that to survive in any market, you have to understand how the market is moving instead of moving in the direction you want to, right? Because
Mhm.
ultimately my customers dictate what they want, and if
Mhm.
the customer is requiring a tech heavy platform, then that is something that we need to work on, right? So
Mhm.
it's more about understanding the customer sentiment. It's more about what can be delivered basis whatever resources we have in our hand. So of course we are working on a few things which we'll be very happy to share with you once they are
Yes,
ready,
of course.
and then hopefully that can be something new and exciting.
Sure. Looking forward to it. As we are hearing a lot thing about Fame 3, it is being proposed.
Yeah.
Government is working on it because I mean, at still, even though we have a good number in terms of sales, but I strongly feel that we have not reached to a tipping point where the market can start running on its own. It
Correct.
need a lot of support and push by the government in terms of the subsidy, and maybe government is planning for FAME 3. So as a manufacturer, as a two-wheeler manufacturer of the, I mean, what what you would like to see in FAME 3? How was your experience of FAME 2? Can you tell us about that?
Here, honestly, I would say that as you rightly said, lot of support is required by the government, right? It's going to be a great push, for sure. There's no doubt about it. I think Fame 3 needs more practicality, if I can put it in that sense, right? I mean, because of whatever sour experiences government has had in Fame 1 and Fame 2 with certain
Hmm.
manufacturers, if
Hmm.
you make it very, very difficult for anybody to avail this subsidy, then don't come out with Fame 3. Then there is no point, right? You have to make it accessible to me, right? If you tell me that please invest 100 crore rupees in some land or in some project, and then you come and avail a Fame 3 subsidy, then you are restricting your OEMs, and especially OEMs who are serious about these things, right?
Hmm.
That's how you differentiate. There are a lot of OEMs, but some of them are serious, some of them are not serious, right?
Hmm.
So while the government is right to implement certain measures to check that the FAME subsidy that they are giving out goes fine, but then it has to be accessible also by the OEM. Ultimately, I would want to go and avail it. So for that, I need to be able to, do whatever things the government requires me to do,
Hmm.
right? So all in for Fame 3, until and unless they take care of the fact that it is actually a subsidy that they want to give to the OEM, they want to actually pass it on and not come back and haunt the OEM for the same subsidy which they have received earlier, right?
Hmm.
So it's like a few bad fish spoiling everything in the ocean. It's like that
Hmm.
as of now. So it is a very good move, and it needs to definitely be there, but I just feel that it needs to be more practical. That's what is required. And then we are also all in, and we are also looking forward to it. So hopefully if it comes out, we'll definitely go for it.
That's really great. I mean, Fame 3 is required, and we need more and more people to adopt electric vehicle. I mean, with the Fame 3 and with the subsidy, one thing also happened that market becomes more of a, like, a lot more people start investing in the market. They start developing more and more products within India
Definitely.
rather than just procuring it from outside and supplying it,
Definitely.
which we have seen a very bad phase. I mean, the early phase of 2020 and 2021, the phase
Correct.
was very bad. What all happened, we all know that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is required. Coming back to your personal journey, I mean, you mentioned that your father business was into print media and digital print media. That's a totally different kind of a business, but
Correct.
still, um, it makes you a second generation business person.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, I mean, what kind of a learning you had with in seeing your father in a business? Of course, it was a different business, and but still, it was a business, and then you are running your own business.
Yeah.
What sort of a learning you had throughout your, growing up, seeing your father doing a business, and how you are implementing those things in this East Printo?
Uh, yeah, you're right. I'm a second generation entrepreneur, and it is as tough as being a first generation entrepreneur, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Even though you don't have to start from scratch, there is a lot to prove to yourself and to everybody.
Every
So
generation has its own challenges. I
yeah,
mean, you
yeah,
can.
every generation has. So I mean, he being his first generation entrepreneur, he must have had his own challenges. I have had my own. So once I completed my MBA, I joined my father in this business. Although I've seen and I've grown up around this business, because it's a 30-year-old firm. So like I've just lived it day in and day out. But as soon as I completed my MBA, I joined him. So I worked with him for a couple of years in this business. Um, I think it's just the art of dealing with people is something that entrepreneurship teaches you a lot. And I think that is where all the difference comes from. He once told me never treat your suppliers differently from your customers. So it's like even if today I have two missed calls in my phone, one for my client and one for my supplier, I will first call back my supplier and then call back my customer, right? Because it is as important for me to do that as anything else. And just the way how integrity works in business and how important integrity is in business if you want to look at a long term business. Because if you're looking for something short term, then probably don't do business. Then I would say go for a job, because that is easier, that is less painful. If you want to go
Mm.
for a business, you have to be around, and for being around you need to have integrity. If you are cheating, you will not be able to go for a very long way forward. So just these, with these two things in mind, because I didn't, after doing that MBA, you don't want to learn technical things that everybody has taught you. You want to learn the practical aspects of being an entrepreneur.
Of
How do
course, of
you
course.
handle things on a practical level is where, your actual worth is looked at, and how
Mm.
you handle a team. Because ultimately we feel that even at East Printo, we feel we are not a product of, just the two of us, or just, just the management. It is the team that is there behind it, right? Working
Mm.
on an all India level, we need a team to help us to to somebody who is, aligned with our vision, that they also want to work with an organization which is working on integrity, an organization which is working on ethics.
Mm.
So to have that team and to have them have that confidence in us is very important. So I
Of
just
course.
wanted to learn those things from him, just the backbone of what, entrepreneurship is. And then he always told me that, you have to find your own way. Every entrepreneur has to find their own way.
Mm.
There is no one set rule book that you can follow.
Of
He's made
course.
some mistakes, I am going to make my own mistakes, but
Mm.
this is just a journey that I have to take on my own.
Mm.
So my vision or my way of working is that my basics are going to be what he has taught me. I am going to get back to my roots every time I have a confusion, but then
Mm.
it's my journey. I have to take my own decisions and make my own mistakes and learn
Yes.
from my own mistakes and then grow. So that's what I'm trying to do. And with eSprinto, I consider myself as a first generation entrepreneur, because
Of
that's
course, of course.
something that I have built from scratch.
Mm.
So both uncle and me, because uncle is also has also been a professional before this. So for us, both of us, it's a very exciting journey. It's a very journey filled with lots of learnings and experiences. So
Mm.
we both of us look forward to that.
Mm. Great, great. So, your journey, of course, with eSprinto, you become the first generation
Yeah.
entrepreneur, because the traditional business which you have seen growing up, growing in and out, understanding each and everything is a totally different.
Yeah.
So, some around when you were planning this, when you were having a discussion, taking this particular decision was, can be considered somehow as a risk, because
Yeah.
you have established business, you have everything, you have a proper roadmap, blueprint of everything, every answer for the every question you have in front of you. But
Yeah.
you say, okay, no, I am gonna do the same thing, but for myself in a different way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose a different path. I'm gonna rewrite the book again which you have already written. So
Right.
that risk factor, that risk taking that you have taken with East Pinto, how would like to explain it to someone who would like to take the same risk, maybe not coming from a business background, someone want to get into any
Yeah.
sort of a business, that particular decision of, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna wait for someone to push me or someone to guide me, someone to help me, but I will be the person for myself, to push myself, to help myself to kickstart the thing. How you will be guiding that person?
See, firstly, I'll just say I'm very privileged that I had, my father who had a set business and everything. So, it's a privilege to have, for
Hmm.
sure. But
Okay.
like you rightly said, that is not the book I wanted to write. I wanted to
Exactly.
write my own book.
Hmm.
Um, because that's what I've been taught, because that's how I've grown up. Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, my father has always taught me that you need to find your own way in life, and in
Hmm.
world in general.
Hmm.
So when I was also taking this decision, and Esprinto was come, like we were thinking about it, and because it's not a small step to take, right? Entering a new industry altogether, and coming up in such a manner, and once you're there, you have to stay, because it's like the first product that I sold, the first scooter that I sold, I still remember, is the day I told myself, okay, I am booked for the next 3 years. Which means every single day I sell something for the next 3 years, I'm booked. It's like this for me, so I can't escape now, right? So it's like the risk was something that I had to decide that I wanted to take for a lifetime. So I'll tell you one thing: too much thinking is problematic, right? There are
Of
some
course.
instances in life where you just have to jump in the swimming pool and you have to
Mm.
learn how to swim. It's
You
like
have to
this.
take the leap of faith.
You have to take the leap of faith, and had I had confidence in myself. I had confidence in dad and uncle. I knew I would make a team. But then the main thing was that my philosophy in life is you don't take right decisions, you take decisions and then you make them right.
Of course,
That's
that's
how
true.
it works, right?
Of
Because
course.
no decision, when you're taking it, you can say, oh, I took the right decision or I took the wrong decision. In these 2 years, every day, I think morning, evening, I change my answer of whether I took a right decision or a wrong decision, right?
I can correlate with that.
Yeah. Because it's like morning something else is happening, evening something else is happening, right? So I feel that once you take a decision, it is your responsibility to make that decision right. And if you have confidence in yourself to do that, irrespective of how many ups and downs you have, you will succeed at the end of the day. And I have just been taught that hard work with integrity gives results. You have to just
Exactly.
learn to be patient, and
Yeah,
hard work will definitely give results. So,
exactly.
just basis that philosophy, I took that leap of faith. And to anybody, any young entrepreneur to be, or anybody who is a young entrepreneur like me, don't think too much. Just take that leap of faith. You will learn how to swim. Once
Exactly.
thrown in the deep end, you will learn how to swim
That's true. That's true.
because you don't have any other option. You
No,
can't
that's
drown.
true.
You don't have any other option. And when life doesn't give you options, I feel it is the best because then you don't have to decide. You just have to work on that decision.
Exactly.
So that's what
That's
I'm trying to do, and that's what I would encourage everybody to do.
that's really great. And thank you for sharing your journey and eSprinto. We'd love to see more and more products of eSprinto in the portfolio. And as you mentioned, you are working on something new as an
Yes.
innovative. We would
Yes.
love to get to know more about it and see how it is impacting the industry. So
Thank you.
thank you, Shaluji, for giving your time and insights about the market. It's
Thank
really
you
great.
so much. And I would just like to add this about All India EV. I have seen you guys from the start, pretty much like us. I have known you from the start, right? And the team behind All India EV. I think you guys are doing a commendable job because I feel this industry really, really needs knowledge and information and right information, which is something which can be trusted by everybody around. So, being in this chaotic industry with us, trying to give out right information is very, very important. And I
Thank
think I just appreciate you guys taking that, doing that, and doing it very sincerely and very faithfully. So,
thank
very, very all the best from our side, from the entire East Fronto team side to you guys as well. And
thank you.
hopefully, we all have a long journey together.
Sure. Thank you.